like Juan. I hide mine. So yes.
You can tell he's already going to cut up tonight. I don't know, and it just stopped, so I'm going to let you go.
Okay, I'm Green.
Yes.
Okay, hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Safer Births, this session, Fathers for Safer Birth and men shifting the Black culture when it comes to birth. We have a very dynamic panel formed together today to help us navigate this. My name is Emmett Henry. I am part of the Black Coalition for Safe Motherhood and one of its ACT curriculum facilitators. And with me, we have Juan Irby. He's a dad doula. And I'll let him introduce himself and tell us briefly a little bit about yourself before we move to Josh.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And it's always a privilege and an honor to speak alongside, the amazing, illustrious, Josh Lifton Zawadi, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I am Juan Irby. I'm the owner and founder of Dad to Doula. I've been a doula for 5 years now, and I can truly say that I enjoy what I do. I love helping men get to know themselves, but also making sure that they are heard and that they are seen throughout the whole entire birth and postpartum process, from conception and beyond. Um, I am in Huntsville, Alabama. I am a husband. I'm a father of two. And I've helped over 100 families, served over 100 dads, and not just here in Alabama, but across the U.S. And you know, I now pass it to my brother, Joshua Lifton Zawadi.
Outstanding. And Josh, it's here down as you're not an educator, an author, doula as well. Tell us a bit about yourself, stomping out of Wisconsin.
So before I do that, I have to let you know the joke, which is why Juan is laughing. Every time, which is all the time, that we're in a panel discussion, I introduce Juan as the illustrious Juan Irby. And he decided to do it first today. It's okay. I have other words in my repertoire for Juan, so that's okay.
I can
I will
take my hat
go.
off to you, Josh.
Okay, you are a gentleman and a scholar. I understand. Yes, sir. I I am Joshua Lisses Zawadi. I'm the founder of Dad Doula University. I'm a full spectrum doula, which means for those who do not know, and no, I do not want to mansplain, but just for those who do not know, I am a doula who covers you before you get pregnant to after the baby's here. I cover the full gambit and the full spectrum of all things. I have also been a doula now going on 6 years, five going on six. I am one who other differently than Juan, because Juan still does take birthing people as clients. I do not. I am strictly educating, um, correcting, becoming the accountability partner for non-birthing people who are expecting their children. And so I have taken clients on rare occasions, but it is a rare occasion, and the dad has to be involved. Otherwise, I do not get into involved. If the question comes up, I'll explain why later. I'm based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I, as Juan, is also very much not based in one place. I'm technically international. I have dads in Canada. I have non-birthing people in Dubai. I have non-birthing people everywhere. I'm an Army vet, so I work with the military. So Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever you are, I am too. But all in all, that's me. And I'm excited for this evening.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you for your service. I'm too. I was in the Marines as well, so we've been in the
I
desert.
won't I won't judge you for that choice. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah,
I
we have to live and learn.
understand.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, so again, as I say, my group is the Black Coalition for Safe Motherhood. I started out doing videos for their their webinars and their social media presence. Then I ended up falling really having an emotional appeal and an affinity for the purpose, and I ended up just joining the group outright. And as I grew in the space, we started coming across, or I started coming across the male doula. And sometimes they get the word doula came out and they got all types of things. And I've even ran into a lactation specialist, which is something that is very rare, and you may not think it exists, but they do. But once you really step into the area, and I think uh, um, one portion of this panel is shifting the birth culture, and I believe that society as a whole, all society in America, if not the world, would be a bit stunned about how involved the black male is in the birthing process. So I'd like to kick it off there, guys. Let's start with you, Josh. How did you get involved, and what do you mean to shift about black birthing experience from a father's point of view?
I have to tell you, that's an amazing question, by the way. Thank you. That's a really good question. So what got me into the work? I was expecting baby number four, who is actually the logo. So it's over here. The logo right there is my baby. That's baby love. That's number four. Me and my wife were pregnant during COVID. Um, and I was a surgical tech at the time. So I was already in the hospitals doing surgery while navigating COVID. My wife looked at me and said, "Baby, I'm pregnant. Cool. I'm excited. I'm happy." It was our first child together, so we are a blended family. My oldest daughter I made while in the army. My wife had two children before me, and then we made baby love together, just to give context. So, our first child together, and she looked at me and said, "Babe, I do not want to do birth in a hospital. COVID's crazy. I don't want that." I said, "Cool, let me do some research. Let's figure out what's going on." I ran into a collective here in Milwaukee called Maroon Calabash, and what they are an Afrocentric doula service that gives free births based through grants in the state. I was like, "Oh, that's dope. I don't have to pay a bill either. Cool, let's do it." And so reached out, applied, got accepted, and Leanne and Sasha became my first doula and midwife, which became my first teachers. And so they taught me everything they knew, but even in teaching me, I was still isolated from the experience. And what I mean by that is they would come to the house, they would see my wife, they did all the things with my wife, and then they would have their cry emotional sessions while I was like isolated in another room. And it didn't feel good because I also want to be included in that space. And so I went to my wife. I was frustrated. My wife said, "Babe, what's wrong?" I said, "I don't want to ruin your moment because you're having that moment that's needed for you. You're pregnant, I'm not, but I need a moment." And I went outside, and the doula followed me. Josh talked to me, "Sis, it's not the right time. You're in the middle of talking to my wife. Like I'm good. No, I'm here for you too. What's up?" I said, I find it crazy how you and the midwife come to my house. You talk to my wife, y'all are having y'all kumbaya moments, and no one is here to educate me on how to do this once you're gone. It's real sweet while you're here because I have you. But when it's midnight a month and a half later and I don't have the tips, the tricks, and the tools to navigate this, then what? Because I could lose my wife and lose my child because I don't know. I went to Barnes and Nobles looking for books. I went everywhere looking for materials, and there was nothing from Black men on how to navigate fatherhood. And so my doula pulled the midwife outside, made me say it again. I repeated the same statement. And then they looked at me and said, well, then now you have a call to create it.
Right. Well, there's this saying called the necessity is the mother of invention.
Mm-hmm.
So you found yourself in a situation and you created a market for yourself out of necessity to better educate you. Hey, Juan, what's your story? How did you come into the field, and where do you see the future is for more dad doulas and the shift for Black fatherhood?
Yeah, so how I came into the picture was again during COVID. My wife and I, we found out that we were pregnant. I was excited, I wanted to be like that dad who did everything, like did the nursery, do like the painting and stuff like that. And I was that dad, I was that guy. And so I had just started a brand new job, and I only had maybe about a week and a day saved up in that brand new job. And like COVID hit. And so I had to go to work. I had to, go in, close the door. And I was like, that's not cool. You know, we are about to give birth to our child. And so um we go to the hospital on a Wednesday, we buy the gown, we buy stuff, to make it our own. And so at the time, like I knew what a doula was, but we didn't have one. And so we kind of, did everything by the doctor's textbook, and not the doula way. And so we ended up having our son, and ended up spending, like I said, like that week of being at home, like going to the birth, going home, but not really bonding with my baby, because I had to go back to work. And so 7 days passed, and a couple of days passed, and a couple of months passed. While working during COVID, I felt like, man, I don't feel like myself. Um, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. And so ended up getting postpartum, or ended up having postpartum depression. And a lot of people don't know that men can get it too. And, the stats are like 4 in 10. But I do believe it is so much higher than that, because men aren't talking about their emotions.
Well,
And
what does it look? Sorry to interrupt you. What does male postpartum look like, feel like?
yeah, and so it's like angry, it's irritability, it can turn into substance abuse. They're scared, they're working more to avoid being at home. And so, but like for me, like I gained tons of weight. Like I was heavy. And so like I knew that wasn't me. And so I eventually I got help, and then we moved to North Carolina. Found out that we were pregnant with our second child. I was like, you know what? I have to be prepared this time. And so I ended up taking a doula course, and I was my wife's doula for our second child. And then I was like, you know what? I have to learn more. And so I became a postpartum doula, a birth doula. Then I became a childbirth educator, a new parent educator, now a certified infant and family educator. And I didn't want other dads to go through what I went through alone. And so that's how Daddy Doula started, with my children and with my wife. And they are my why behind the whole entire story. And so just to give a shout out to them, like, I love y'all and thank y'all for like really pushing me to be a better man and a better dad.
Yeah, and just we are being recorded. Shout out to my wife and my family and kids and stuff like that. I got it. Josh, you want to take a second and say
I
shout
was
out
gonna
to
say now I'm the one who didn't do it, so now I got it. Now the pressure's on.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
Two of my four are still up, so they hear me. To my big girls, they're still up. My wife, all four of the tribe. Dad Doula is literally what they taught me, so I can
Mhm.
teach other men. That's
Right,
all
that's
it is.
kind of so while you have the mic, Josh, what turns this from an experience to just wanting to learn more to a calling to and both of you gentlemen, tell me the transition from doing it with your wife and your family to helping dozens of others. How does that happen? And what are the challenges and the differences?
There's plenty of challenges. That's a whole separate segment to the question. But I think the first part is it starts with one. It has to, right? And so it started with us learning, and when I say us, I mean me and Juan, learning what we didn't know and then applying what we didn't know in real time. Because to learn a thing is one thing, but to learn a thing and then create a pedagogy around it, that's a whole nother process. And so I learned, I got certified, I've taken four separate doula courses alone, already certified the first time. I said, I need to learn more. So then I went Afrocentric doula care. And then I went from Afrocentric doula care to the public health version of doula understanding from a communal. So I've had to do all the training for me. And then on top of that was understanding that a doula and a father are both servant leadership positions. So I had to make sure that my heart posture, my presence was felt as a servant, not someone trying to overstep boundaries in a space, right? And so it starts there. Once you get that down, I tell everybody I will never certify doulas. I leave that to Juan. And the reason I don't certify doulas is very simple. Male doulas, number one, that's a calling that has been and can be perverted. I don't
Yep.
have time for that. So I don't even put my name in that hat. I'll meet every male doula who says they want to meet, and within 36 seconds, I can tell you if you're legit or not. It's
Right.
quick, it's easy, but whoever certified you has to carry that burden, not me. I'm not
Spooky.
certifying doulas. I give that to other people. That which is why male doulas are a growing industry, but it's a slowly growing
Mhm.
industry because us who are already in it are gatekeeping very heavily. Because I've had to kick men out of doula care here in the state of Wisconsin, and they left the state to go do it somewhere else. Because
Yeah, that's
I
it's
don't.
like it's probably like a male kindergarten teacher.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Juan, how about you? What was your transition from doing it just for you and your wife to doing it for others and becoming a one that certified people, training
Yeah.
people?
Yeah. Like Josh said, like, it's a calling. And I felt that calling when I had my second child. And knowing that I could help other men, um, not, I can help other men feel heard, feel seen. Because when you walk into a doctor's office, or when your wife and partner walk into a doctor's office, the first thing to say, hey, how's mom and baby doing? No, we need to scratch that. How's mom, baby, and dad doing? Because I helped make this baby. I know my wife's body way better than you do. And so, um, how I got started was like Josh said, like, it starts with one. And in North Carolina, like, again, just moved there, still fresh. I got the trainings and everything and certifications. And I reached out to almost every doula agency in North Carolina just to trying to get my foot in the door. And there was one. She gave me a shot. And from that point, and shout out to Uptown Doula, like she gave me a shot. And from there, word of mouth, like spread it like a wildfire. And I just went on from there. And how I became to certified male doulas, um, like Josh said, we will know if you want to do this work or not. We know if you're in it for the perverted reasons or if you're in it to really make a difference, to really bring down these statistics. We are going to know that. And so um, I went through the training course to be a faculty member. And so while being a faculty member, I can train male and female doulas. But I'm trying to do it from a fatherhood perspective and from a dad's perspective. So that way, hey, you do have the female doulas, but as a male doula, I want to make sure that you really understand what you're getting yourself into and you know how you can protect yourself, how to protect your name, how to protect your brand when you do build it. And so that's how we got started.
Okay. So I have an interesting question from the gallery. So how do you define an engaged father in the context of wanting to be involved with the pregnancy, and how does that traverse to the actual birthing, I guess, process or event?
So the hard part in answering that question is that we have to first understand that birthing is not a singular event. And I'll clarify that in a little bit. The act of birthing is one thing, but birthing a child is also birthing a new version of that mother. It's birthing a new version of that man. It's birthing a newness in that relationship. It unearths all things. There's a quote that we say in doula work, whatever you haven't dealt with before you have this baby, you gonna deal with before you have this baby.
Yep.
You have to, because the person you were before is not who will emerge after said baby is out.
Hmm.
Statistics prove us that women birthing people on average go 3 to 6 years not knowing who they are anymore until after they've gone through the process of postpartum. Postpartum lasts 3 to 6 years. I'll never forget, it was Harlan was turning 4. My wife looked at me and said, "Hey, babe, I'm back." I said, where'd you go?" "I'm back." Where were you?" "Oh, I feel like myself again." I got you. Okay, cool. 4 years, right? But to answer your question, um, what does it look like for a father to, or defining an engaged father? I think we first have to understand that all fathers are engaged. The difference is what level they're engaged to and what promotion do they have to increase that engagement, right?
Hmm.
And this is what I mean by that. Anybody who's created life to an extent is going to be engaged unless there's doubts, unless their relationship is topsy-turvy, unless. So the question is if you want to see fully engaged fathers, that means you have to fully integrate them in the process, right? And so for Dad Doula, one of my sessions, I bring the birthing people in and I make them sit on the yoga ball. And I look at their partners and say, I need you to support her without me telling you what to do. And men are surprised at how quickly they snap into position of how
Hmm.
to support their partner without being coached. Because all they needed was the permission. Once they have the permission, they'll figure it out. But they want to figure it out in a way that they don't cause harm and they're not ostracized or demonized for the mistakes that will happen.
Yep.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a process that will always require mistakes to happen. And so, what me and Juan do is we just give you the space to create those mistakes without being demonized, ostracized, or told you're dumb. We
Yep.
don't do that. We want you to make the mistakes in a safe space so that when I'm no longer in your face, I know you know what to do.
Yeah, that's Charles Taylor's group and the great people that work with that, Gabrielle Valerie, and the countless other people that work with Care for Dads. They broke it down into they have this sports analogy type action going there, and I think it's very easy for a male to to deal with, when you break it your first quarter, your second quarter, your third quarter into the
Hmm.
trimester. But one thing as I read into it, having played sports, my entire childhood, high school, etc. Even the military, Josh, you train, right? And then you practice like you play. So it's just like, there comes a time when you become a team, become uh, meshed together and almost thinking you're using your initiative, and not only initiative, your intuitiveness to what it takes to help your partner, your wife, etc. Juan, I would like to give you an opportunity to ask that question, answer the question about the difference between walking through the pregnancy stage and the actual birth. Like, how do you gauge doula's mettle or a partner's mettle to bring them into that room or that area and walk them through the pregnancy part and give them showtime.
Yeah, like, agreeing with what Josh said, you know, but also changing the verbiage, changing the terminology. Like, don't look at me as your doula. Look at me as your coach. Like,
Hmm.
I'm going to be right here on these sidelines with you. I'm going to
Hmm.
be in the game with you. I'm going to make sure that you know every play front and back. Kind of like the playbook. Like, I am your fitness coach. I'm going to show you how to do the moves. I'm going to show you how to lift these weights. I'm going to show you how to bench press, you know, but at the same time, you got to show me that you want to be here. Like, you have to show me that you want to be here, not just for yourself, but for your partner too. And being consistent and being there for them from these hormone shifts, from the ups, from the downs, like being there and engaging in conversation. Like, you have to communicate with your partner. You have to come out of that shell that you were once in. Like Josh said, like, if you haven't dealt with it, you're going to deal with it. And so by having that communication, like, it's so important, so important. Oh,
Well, you had
hey, man.
said like if they want to deal with it, if you're sensing someone may not want to do it or may not be able to deal with it, do you coax them into dealing with it or give them a skill set, or you just say, well, maybe there's just some things you can't do? There's this Peter principle. It's like you elevate someone to their level of incompetence, right? Have you ever experienced where it's like, okay, bro, maybe this part isn't for you, or maybe, how do you go from, like, whether you have to help somebody through something, or saying, or just making a decision, maybe you're not built for that? Is that clear what I'm asking?
Yeah, yeah. And so with that, when we see someone who doesn't want to be involved, well, me personally, I would take them inside and say, hey, what's stopping you from being a better you? Like, what's stopping you from getting over what fear you may have? Just sitting down and talking to them man to man and say, hey, this person needs you. This person needs you right by their side. Like, they need your support. Like, they are going to support you, but you have to give them time. And right now, they need you emotionally. They need you physically. They need you spiritually, like, to be that leader that you were called to be. And it's just having that conversation and letting them know, hey, I got you. Like, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be in your corner. Like, if you do need to tap out, like, tag me in. I'm right here. Like, I will be your substitute. I'm right here on the sidelines. Like the Tyra Banks meme, like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I got you. But at the same time, I want you to know that you do have yourself. Like you have everybody in your corner who's rooting for you. And trust and believe, if you need help, I'm only a phone call away. I'm a text away. I will do whatever I can to make sure that you feel supported, whether it's sending another birthing person or sending another doula in your area to say, hey, I know Juan, I got you. And so, Josh, you want to piggyback off that?
Me and Juan, let me say this. Having a doula is like having a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You have to date them, right? And so me and Juan have totally different approaches. And that's okay because we're both totally different ways of doing how we do. I am very much a radical doula, and I don't hide it. I tell you up front, I've been kicked out of every hospital in my city at least 5 times. And now, because of that, they can't kick me out no more. They know who I am. And so I get leeway in being radical everywhere I am. I do not prescribe to giving men a choice, meaning, if you had the gumption to make a child, you now have to have the duty to be what's best for said child. And I slow walk you there. I don't rush it on you because you have to make the change. But what I don't do is I don't allow the excuses. I don't allow the buts and the hear me, doc. This is your child. You got work to do.
There's no I got stuck at work, right?
Yeah, here here's the issues. We have given so much grace to bad excuses that we don't recognize how bad the excuse really is, if that makes sense, right? So I'll give a true story. I have a client right now, like literally right now. His wife or partner went into labor, and he was not there before I was there. She was there. He was not there. And so everyone's blowing his phone up. I said, stop calling him. I said, what do you mean? He needs to, I'm here. Stop calling him. I sent a 2-word text. This brother showed up in 22 seconds, sweating, because you all acknowledged the excuses. He understood when he signed up for my program what my program was. And so I don't allow that. I just never have. I was a father to a child who I didn't know was my child until 4 years later when I found out she was actually my child, and I still fathered her for 4 years before I knew. So the excuses don't really, like, I just don't give them. If you are man enough to make it, you are man enough to support it. And it's just that simple for me, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of the coin is that going through processes like me and Juan require or force you to deal with those demons in real time, right? I have clients who were raised by women who hated women. So these men have gotten women pregnant and they hate women and they don't understand why. Well, I can tell you why, but we got to deal with that now because you have a partner who's pregnant and you're having a daughter. What are we going to do when that daughter gets here? We don't have an option to hate her. That's yours. So we got to figure this out. And so we figure it out. We get busy. I tell the world, doulas are more than doulas. We have a title. We're doulas, but we end up being lifestyle coaches. We end up being job finders. We end up doing all the things we got to do
Right, right.
because
You
I
end up being friends, like you said, we're partners.
Yeah.
I cannot allow your inabilities to ruin what is coming out of this union. I can't.
Absolutely.
And so we can fix it.
Now, like again, to turn this on the other side of the coin, have you guys been pleasantly surprised about the involvement of fathers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this idea of a father not being present is rare. Like,
Right.
let me first say the trope of the black father not showing up, that's false.
Right.
I work strategically with, and it's not strategically, but I work with 98% African American dads or non-birthing people. Out of my African American cohorts that I have of men, I think I've dealt with 4 who actively did not want to show up. I've touched over 1,000 men in 5 years.
Yeah.
Only
How about
4.
you, Mr. One?
Only 4 did not want to be there. And they had their own reasons that superseded my program for not being there. I.e., I don't know this child mine. She was messing with somebody else. Cool, understood, and that's real. But in the case that it is, do you want the story to be that you didn't show up?
Right.
So until we know, I need you to show up, right?
Right.
And so yeah, that trope of men not showing up is false.
Yeah. Like, to piggyback off that, like, men, we want to be acknowledged. Like, let us know, hey, how you doing? Welcome, and that feeling of being heard, that feeling of the acknowledgement, like, yo, we are about to have a baby. And it's no, dads want to be there. Some dads just don't know how. And it's up to me and Josh and a few others to say, hey, we will show you. We got you. We are in your corner.
Outstanding. And I would like to take this this feeling right here and segue as men are more present. Then you even have the emergence of Black doulas. My group in Black Coalition for Safe Motherhood and part of our ACT curriculum, ask questions, claim your space, trust your body, tell your story. One of the foundations or cornerstones of the training we give is how to navigate within the healthcare, the institutional healthcare space. How to deal with feeling disrespect or rush and things of that nature. Can we touch into that as not only how the fathers may deal with being in the birthing space and dealing with possibly a conflicting or confrontational space, or your doulas as doulas emerge, trying to be accepted, or then because Josh, you mentioned you've been kicked out of every hospital at least 5 times, right? Like, how do you guys navigate that scenario?
So this is a perfect segue because in the chat, Juju is giving gems on his experience as a man in this process, and I want to honor that. Juju, you said a lot, and I want you to know we see you, we hear you, I see you. It's coming, I promise you. I'm gonna answer every question you put in here, but I have to do it based upon the order that you asked, right? Because it's only fair to do so. So the question is talking about how to best navigate a system, meaning Eurocentric medicine that isn't built for us. That's the entirety of the question. I think the first part is we have to understand that it's okay to not deal with Eurocentric medicine. And that's the part we never talk about. It is okay to say, I want Black spaces for a Black experience for my Black family. That is real. That's okay. Here in Milwaukee, we have a whole collective of Black doulas who use one Black birthing space, schedule it out perfectly, and it's ours. And that's just what it is. So that we don't have to navigate the nuances of Eurocentric medicine because it's not built for us. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge the fact that we are trying to navigate systems that were not, cannot, and will never be with us in mind. That's fine, understood, got it. Juju, to answer your question about the training and the skills, myself and Juan both do work with future doctors, people who are in school actively to become doctors. The hard part is we experience elderly doctors, seasoned doctors
Mhm.
who also have seasoned bias.
Right.
And so we have to understand that it is our job to protect our home. Meaning, I have a rule for every family that I go into birth with. It's like, hear me and hear me clear. You do not speak if it has to come from a confrontational lens. That is my job. Your job is to advocate based upon your birthing plan, which is plastered across this room a million times, because that holds them accountable to what you want. My job is to enforce it. So you can't tell me and Juan are not small men. Um, I am 6'3", about 350 pounds. Juan is about six even. Six
I
even.
wish, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I was throwing you an alley, brother. I was
I'll
hoping you
take.
were
Look, I got it. I got
Just put your Timberlands on, man. You'll be fine.
I got it. I got
and
it.
so when I show up in hospital spaces, number one, they know who I am. But number two, bigger than that, I am the only black male doula in the Midwest. Let's just call a thing a thing. So I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Juan is in Alabama. We have Teddy in Texas. We got another one in Kansas City, but he travels. So like we're all over the place doing the thing, and we command the space wherever we are. So to answer your question, Juju, I want to be empathetic to what you said, and because your doula did not do their job, you were not protected. And that's the first part. The change we want to see has to start with the doulas first. So me and Juan have talked about bias training for doulas. Because if I'm a doula who has a poor track record of my own personal relationships and having birth, how can I uplift your birthing experience the way you want? I
Right.
can't because my baby daddy wasn't there, my baby mama wasn't there, whatever the case is. And so, because of that, I am going to move. Most doulas become doulas because their birthing experience was horrible. That's just, and I won't say most, I won't put a percentage on it. Some doulas become doulas because they want to be the change in birthing spaces, but what they don't realize is they haven't become the change themselves. They're still bitter, they're still hurt, they're still upset, and they still carry that wherever they go.
Yeah.
So,
And how about,
what?
sorry to cut you short, I just wanted to give Juan a bit on the floor with that same question because your experience and your insight are similar, but there's some nuances that are different that I want the audience to take advantage of. Juan, how do you navigate in the institutional space?
Like Josh said, like Josh kind of hit it like 3-pointer, half court shot, made it in right there. Um, um, to deal with our own biases, you know, to make sure that we are keeping you guys safe. Like Josh said, we let us get kicked out. We taught you everything that we could teach you. Now it's your job to make sure that you come home, that your wife come home, your partner come home, and your baby come home. We will be gone. But guess what? Y'all will be safe. There are birthing plans all around the room. I also tell my clients to put an address when you come, as soon as the doctor comes to the room. Speak to everybody in the room. And dealing with these new doctors that are coming in, speaking to the clinicians and say, hey, we want y'all to acknowledge everybody. Like, we are here to help you. This is not just your client, this is our client. And we want our client to come home and be safe. We want you to hear them. We don't want any conflict. If you're using these large medical terminology words, guess what? I would say stop, break it down so the dumbest person can understand. And having them be like, hey, again, I'm not trying to be the pain in the butt. I'm not. But you have literally a life on the line right now. And this person needs to be saved. And by going in and talking to these new doctors, talking to these new nurses, and saying, hey, what are your thoughts on having a doula? Doing the role reversals and say, no, okay, now let's switch it up. You're the patient, I'm the doctor. How does it feel to be dismissed? How does it feel to be this? How does it feel to be that? And showing them what it feels like to be in that limelight. And they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like to be dismissed because what? No. Matter of fact, no one likes to be dismissed.
Right. That's actually one of the tools that we have with the ACT curriculum, like putting the question on the doctor. How would you like your wife treated? If they're saying the questions, or if I was your mother, or your child,
Yep.
how would you like your doctor coming in the room and leaving without even acknowledging answering it? Now, having said that, when it's a relationship, the doula couple is a relationship. How would you give some advice on how our audience could vet or make the selection of picking the right fit for a doula?
I love that question, but first, Juju, I want to put an ask out real quick. I want you to reach out to myself and Juan after this, and let's sit down. And I really want to hear and capture your testimony
Mhm.
and your experience because it's a true experience for most men, but men don't say the thing. And so please, 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 I need you to reach out to myself and Juan. We'll schedule time with you because my fear is that the gravity of what you are asking, we won't have time to really get into the
Right.
weeds with, but I want to hear me, I want to make the time. I want to make the time to answer that. Okay. And so now I'm sorry, Emmett, I had to say that because he's putting a lot of
Yeah.
soul in this chat. And unfortunately,
I
I don't,
see.
I don't, I don't know if we'll have the time to actually navigate it, but I want to navigate it with you. Hear me. I want to walk this with you. I'm not worried about the pay. I don't care about that. I'm
Right.
gonna walk this work with you. We're gonna do it. Anyway, Emmett, to your point, I have a date the doula one pager that I give every family I work with. I need you to date me and make sure I'm a fit. It
Mm.
has 25 questions. I created them myself of questions I ask birth workers every day to gauge what they do, how they do. It's part of the tool that me and Juan do if I know if you're built for this or not. And so
Yep.
I took the tool I use with doulas every day and turned it into a family friendly guide for the men to ask. And I'm so serious. I make the men date the doula, give their recommendation to the partner, and then the partner dates the doula as well, separately. You have to date the doula separately. And here's why. Because how they show up with a birthing person is not how they're going to show up with you every time. And
Hmm.
so you have to date the doula first because you're setting the groundwork of I'm an intentional, I'm a present, I am a hands-on father, and I need you to know that first. Now you can meet my prized possession, who I am tasked with to keep alive and keep safe. And then she or they can date you as well.
Yep.
And so I'm very intentional about even with me, I need y'all to date me. So before you even come to my dad doula class, we have a 30-minute session where I just sit down with you and I sit there silently until you ask every question you got in your heart. Because I need you to be sure that you are not just ready for this, but you understand what I'm going to put you through. Because I am going to take you through the ringer and change you from the man that you were before kids to the man you're going to have to exist as with children, with a partner. That's my job. And so because of that, that is how I do. I literally hand it out to every dad that I see here's and it's free. It has my logo on it. So when you take it to them, they're gonna see Dad doing, oh, okay, I know who gave you this. You know, 'cause I need you to know that they're covered by me. Right. And so that's a totally separate conversation that me and Juan talk about with the relationship with doulas that we work with. I am very matter of fact with doulas that I work with that any man who comes saying my name, please know he has my full backing. That's not a threat. That's nothing more than just letting you know I am going to put this man through the ringer to be the best version of himself for his family. What I need you to do is honor his presence in that space. It's already understood amongst the doulas I work with because
That's
I only refer to doulas I trust. So I won't refer you to a doula who I know ain't about this life. I can't. 'Cause I'm
right.
setting your partner for failure.
Right.
So
Juan,
that's
do you have
me.
some insight?
Juan, yeah.
Juan, you have a say?
Yeah. I date my families too. Like I have to get to know you because again, you may not be the client for me, and I may not be the doula for you. And to have a list of questions to pass out to say literally ask me anything. Like now is your chance to ask me any and everything you want to know from beginning to end. I'm an open book. I will let you know how many families I've helped, how many clients I have turned away, because I want to make sure that me and the birthing person mesh, but also me and the non-birthing person mesh. But I also want to make sure that if I'm doing birth or postpartum, I want to make sure that I mesh with your family because I want to take care of you and your family during postpartum. I want to make sure that you guys are safe. I want you guys to make sure that you um, are okay with having this male presence in your home. I'm not trying to take away you being the head of your household. I'm not. I'm here to support you and give you the strength that you need so that way you can support your wife, your partner, and your family all at the same time because you're going to need it.
Great. Thank you for that. I'm going to take another question from the gallery here. It says, what do dads say they need but aren't getting?
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
So here's another one of those caveat questions, right? Because being a father is not a siloed understanding or a siloed experience, right? Juan's experience as a father is totally different than mine. His track to being a father is totally different than mine. But we service the same need regardless, which makes us uniquely um, important for the work we do. So for me, here in the Midwest, I think the biggest issue that we see with fathers is the continuity of care. And I'm gonna throw, like Juan said, using big words of continuity of care, meaning I start you through this journey. There's nobody to pick you up after I'm done, right? And so in Milwaukee, my dads are straight because they have me, and they will always have me. And regardless of where you are across the country, if you got me, you got me. I fly, we do the thing. But regardless of that, here in Milwaukee, the biggest issue is once my baby's here, the support stops because there is no continuation of, okay, baby's here. Here's what you need to know for the first 6 weeks. So for me, I do postpartum training, which is another course that I offer. But after that, right, if I want a fatherhood group, I mean, that's not, I'm building it now. But prior to this, that wasn't a thing because I have other organizations here in the city who are supposed to do that work. It's not getting done. And so the biggest issue for us is the continuity of care around my baby's here, but I still don't know what to do, and there's no one to hear me say I don't know what to do. Uh, and that's just here in Milwaukee. Juan?
Yeah, so in Alabama, I'm it's me. I am that support. And so by now creating that village of men, that village of dads, you are going to be supported to bounce those questions off of, hey, I'm going through this. I have a 2-year-old and now I got a newborn. How are y'all handling this? And so bouncing these ideas off of other dads um, helps them feel supported, helps them feel uplifted. Like for me, I got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Help me. Like help me. But there are dads who want to put in the work, who want to talk about how they are feeling. And now Dad to Doula is giving them that opportunity to be in that space, to be in that environment, to be their true authentic self. Like I don't have to have my partner around. I don't have to have my kids around. Like I just need 5 minutes to just talk to my guys and be me. I don't have to be a dad. I don't have to be a husband. I just want to be a human being. I want to be a brother right now. So that's what we do.
Yeah. I think men, all individuals actually may sometimes underestimate the power that they have to make positive influence in society. There's a match can light up a room, so you could have just a whole abyss of darkness, and then just somebody light something up and make a change. I can't, the first time a grown person told me, a grown man told me, you're like a father figure to me. I found it shocking because I felt I was just being me. I wasn't setting out to do anything or say anything profound. But through the years of us kicking it, he started looking at me as a father. So I say that to all say when you're called to do something, when you're called to be involved, when you have the skill set, the universe, in my context, God will equip you with the right words at the right time in the right scenario and put you in a way to make an effect on somebody's life. Um, yeah. So a thought, Joshua, that you may want to put onto the audience, or Juan, whichever one wants to go first, that you may want to say that you haven't said yet.
First off, please keep flooding us with questions. That's the first part because I plan on answering everything, and I mean that.
Gotcha.
Juan will tell you I'm gonna answer every question you got. I'll be here till midnight if I got to.
Okay.
We do this. But number one, please put all your questions in there. I think number two,
Wait, hold on one second. Did I not say that to the audience yet? Put your questions in the. I'm
I,
sorry.
I,
Hey, audience.
I'm just echoing. That's
Part
all
of
it
the
is.
audience. It's Q&A time. Please put your questions in the chat so we
I
can
am
continue.
just putting it out there because
I
I
could have swore I
know
did.
I just know how this works sometimes. I was like, look, put it in
All
there, then
right.
we'll answer
Yes,
them all.
audience, please put your
Um,
questions in the chat.
I will leave my home run phrase for the end, and Juan's heard it a million times, so I'll wait. I'll leave
Mhm.
that for the end. I think um what I want to leave you all with is the understanding that regardless of what your experience in birthing is, we care. And when I
Yeah.
say we, us who actually really do this work, we care. Right. I see Juju. I see all the questions. I'm writing them down and screenshotting them so that I get it. I want you to know we actually care. And I care because me and Juan may be the only interaction you'll have with a black male doula. And I need you to know that you've met two real doulas in
Yeah,
a lifetime. Like we are really about this work.
yeah.
Um, unfortunately, and thankfully for us, we also married very strong black women
Whew.
who can
Yes, sir.
navigate the
So here
nuances.
comes one from the gallery. When you work with families, are you a solo doula for the whole family or mainly with the father?
Juan is a unicorn in this space, and this is what I mean by that. Juan does all doula care for the family. So, and I didn't mean to answer the question for you, brother. I'm sorry,
You
but
good? You good?
Juan is the doula for the family. I have a doula that I will work with if it's a family case, and I give mom's needs to her while I navigate father, right? Could I be the doula for both? Yes. But what we don't tell y'all as dating doulas is that that relationship between a birthing person and a doula is sometimes a spiritual connection. And sometimes, based upon the trauma of a birthing person, it can get kind of chaotic and messy in that space. Meaning, and I'll give you a true story and I'm gonna shut up after this. I had my very first dad doula client was a woman, and her partner was not present at all. I gave her the full dad doula care, the full dad doula experience, and she took my care for me wanting her, and she was going. And it took my wife to say, if you don't fix this, I'm gonna fix it. I said, bet. I got you, mama. And so I went ahead and the other doula I will work with families with took her and finished her while I coached her partner up, and he ended up re-entering into the picture and getting it right. But so I do not do that because I understand how intimate that relationship is. Not to say Juan doesn't know how to handle it. I just know that my wife's tolerance is not as gracious as Juan's wife is. So like I'm not putting her in that situation. So I have another doula who takes mom as I take dad, and we go do the work.
Mhm. Juan?
Yeah, like Josh said, like I am the diamond in the rough. I'm the unicorn. So um I do work with the whole family. I do work with Hubbard, also work with the father as well, so that way he can be that support person for that birthing person. Like, I'm here to make sure that you understand the medical terminology. I'm here to make sure that you understand the lingo. I'm here to make sure that you are not afraid of the person who's coming to the room with that white coat on. No, no,
Mhm.
no. Don't don't be scared of them. Do not be afraid. And by working with those families, some of them hired me to be their postpartum doula as well, and letting them know and showing them how to do X, Y, and Z while you have baby. Showing them, hey, it's okay for you to rest when the baby's rest. But guess what? The dishes, they will get done. His housework, it will get done. Invite your family over when you get ready. Like, they don't have to come over as soon as you guys get home. Like we said earlier, like, this is a brand new relationship. You're getting to know your brand new wife, you're getting to know your brand new baby. Also, you're getting to know your brand new self. And so by taking that time and helping them go through this brand new norm, that's what I do.
Outstanding. Another question from the gallery. Is it- Depending on, well, speaking on each one of you gentlemen's training and what you do, he says there's a large gap. Well, there's a difference. There's a versatility to what you all do. He said if someone shows an interest in doing likewise work, how would you suggest they field or are able to look at the different things they need to do to figure out which one works best for them if they want to get involved in the field.
You want to go first, Juan? Or want me to go?
Um, I'll go first. To get involved, you you want to know your why. Why do you want to get involved? And you really have to sit with that and understand, okay, do I want to go into this because I want to make money? Do I want to go into this because I want to help? Do I want to go into this because I really do want to make a difference in these numbers? Um, so you have to sit with your why, and also find a doula course that's going to sit with your values, that's going to sit with what you believe in. You know, I've trained through two of the top doula organizations, you know, but there's one like for me that stuck out, and I love them, and now I am a Kappa facilitator. I'm a Kappa faculty member because I love the work that they are doing. Not saying that the other organizations are doing a bad job, but this one just fits for me. They understand. They literally take you in and make you family. And by being in that organization, we also have a subsection, for like Kappa Black members. So that way we can talk about, hey, this is what's going on in the Black community, and this is how we are helping. And so just sitting with your why and finding an organization that sits well with you.
Mr. Josh?
My answer is not going to be as nice as Juan's. Let me preface that now. I told y'all I was radical. I wasn't lying to y'all. One thing I won't do is lie to you. First off, you have to make sure you're built for this. And when I say built for this, the other word for that is called for this. Being a doula is a ministry. So another hat of mine is I'm a minister as well. So I have a lot of hats. I don't tell y'all all my hats for a reason. It's just too much to talk about. But you have to be called to this, and it's a special person who is built to do this work. It is not my job to tell you if you are or not. That's your job to do that work first, right? True story. I know a doula who the first time I'm gonna be the world's best doula until they saw blood, and then it changed the game. You have to make sure you're built for this. Number one. I think number two, training is, and Juan's gonna hate me for saying this. Training is indifferent based upon who's training you. The better part is who can you receive the training from,
Yep.
right? And so Kappa training is amazing. I won't speak bad on anybody else. Donor training is amazing. I'll say everybody's amazing, but you have to understand the relevance and how to utilize what you're being taught.
Yep.
That's the question. Can you receive it? Can you use it? And can you go through with it? The best training I ever had came from a granny doula. Hands down. This I'm flicking hair, I'm sorry. This doula was probably close to 80 years old when she trained me. She's still here kicking. She don't take clients no more, but she is teaching. And because she could give me a level of understanding that hit my soul differently than every other coursework I ever took. And so you have to find the training that resonates with you, but also can empower you to be the change, empower you to act. People don't understand how scary it is sometimes to go against doctors. It's not easy to tell a doctor, this is my patient, not yours. That's not an easy thing to do. Now, of course, me and Juan being men and being our size, it gets easier. But let's be very clear, to have to fight an authority figure in his playground, her playground, is not easy. So you have to know, like Juan said, your why, and be able to tap into your training and your knowledge to understand how to best navigate situations. I've had doctors go from trying to tell my client they're going to do a C-section when they didn't need it to having to hear me and be like, okay, Josh, we'll do it your way, and everything worked the way it was supposed to. But I had to know how to navigate that space using both my knowledge and my ability to build community everywhere I go. And so you have to find the training that suits you. But first, make sure you're actually called to this work.
Yeah, called building relationships. About timing and talking to doctors, I could remember trying to promote the ACT curriculum to a room full of doctors, and I literally say, doctors don't know everything, and to see that, I was trying to be a bit, bring a bit of levity to the room, but they didn't find it funny. No one laughed. Anyhow, so there's one thing I did want to talk about. We are in overtime, but um, Joshua, you had mentioned about the trope that black men are not around. And so we know that. How do we counteract that, whether it be media or word of mouth or just getting out? Because I find it ironic because, growing up, we know television does a lot of, is very influential to society. And if from growing up and all through the 80s and 90s, most sitcoms, black sitcoms, did have a nucleus family. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to imitate television, but how do we go from these types of images on major TV to the notion that black men aren't involved with their family? And how do we counteract it at this stage?
I think, and Juan, I'm gonna take this one first because you know me, I'm gonna step on my pro-black steps for 2 seconds. I think we have to first acknowledge that this is not a trope. This is an attack. We have to call the thing a thing. This is an attack on black families. And when I say my final quote, you'll understand where I'm going with this. This is an attack on black families. We have to understand that if I remove the security and the safety and the protection that a non-birthing person brings to his tribe, then I'm able to navigate that tribe with a bunch of other things that continue to perpetuate that harm and that trauma. That's number one. I think number two, your second question was, how do we counteract? We don't. The data set. Here's the thing: if you want to be ignorant to that, you're going to be ignorant to it. There's nothing I can do or say that's going to change that. Black men. I had a doctor tell me black men don't show up, and I was at a hospital for a patient with all four of my kids there. And the doctor, black men don't show up for their families. And I just stepped out the way and let him see all four of my kids at a visit for a prospective father. I said, "You said what? Never mind." Yeah, I bet. Here's the thing: if you want to be ignorant, you're gonna be ignorant. The data has already disproved this 6 years in running. There's a new report every year that comes out. Black dads are increasing every year. We know this already
Yeah.
because we take care of our responsibility. That's not the question. The question is, if you want to live in that era of ignorance, then you're going to live there. There's nothing we can do about it. So what do? We choose joy. We choose enjoying our families. We choose loving on our seeds. We choose loving on Black women out loud. We choose joy because you can say what you want. I'm going to show you different. You can talk all the garbage you want to. My actions will dispel everything you're saying. And that's how we teach ours. Well, I teach mine, I can't speak for one. Is I need you to live in radical joy amidst all the garbage you're going to hear and feel while you're in this process.
Yeah. To man, I don't know how to follow that up. But to tell my son that I love him, to show him love, to parent differently how I was parented is showing up, is a Black man showing up, willing to change the narrative, to change the stereotype of men not wanting to show up. No, I am proud that I can go to my son's school and have lunch with him. I can go to my daughter's school and have lunch with her. I can go on field trips, having that privilege to do so. And showing up lets everybody know that no, my son and my daughter have an active father. They have an active Black father who's going to show up. Even if my son is showing out in school, I will be there. And we are showing up in waves. Like, there are so many Black dads all across social media now. Like you said, you have Daddy Stroller Club, who's literally taking these cities in waves. The dads at the library, like dads are showing up all day, every day, because our presence is here. Like, we don't have to be perfect, but you will see our presence.
Emmett, real quick before you go, Savannah has asked the same question twice, Juan. Real quick, I just want to get to that. And then there's a question on, are we treated like unicorns? That's the funniest question I've seen tonight. I'm going to answer it because that's hilarious. But first, are you, hold on, it is, let me scroll up real quick. How do you navigate and normalize breastfeeding and support for fathers being comfortable with it or knowing how to support and meet their breastfeeding goals? So, Savannah, the reason I said I got you is one to tell you, I just posted a picture yesterday, 2 days ago, of a breast pump and said, Dads, tell me what this is. And waited, and no man could answer the question. I told Juan he couldn't answer. I told every other dude, don't you answer this question. I need non-birthing people and men that they could not tell me what it was. And it was hilarious to me. And so the part is that we have to understand that men's nature are we can only understand what we navigate. Meaning, if I have been raised that breasts are for my enjoyment my whole life, if I see a little person gnawing on the breast that I call mine, I'm a feel away. Like, hold on, that's for me. What you doing, little buddy? Instead of understanding that breasts are meant to feed. They are a tool for nourishing small. We are mammals. That's how you feed. That's what it's for. And so I do the work of unpacking and reimagining what breasts are for men. Right. So the first thing I do is I take the I out of it. That's not yours. Those do not belong to you, sir. Don't get attached. They're not yours. That's the first thing we have to do. Number two is we give them the physiological, the truth about what they're here for. Why do women have breasts? Yes, they're large. We like them, blah, blah, blah. But why? Why are they here? They're not for me to look at. They're not for me to touch on. They are meant to feed my children. Like I need you to know that. And then what I do is when the baby's first here, I have him hold the child while mama's breastfeeding. I need you to understand what this is for in real time. And then I teach them how to disassemble. Yeah, Juju, I'm telling you that truth hurts. When you were first told that breast don't belong to you, that hurts. It's like, what you mean it ain't? It's not yours. I need you to
It's
get
not yours, right?
not yours. But anyway, and then I teach them how to disassemble and clean breast pumps because your job is to be a cheerleader, which means mom's only job is to feed and or pump and then go back to what she's doing. Right. And so how do you disassemble? How do you clean? How do you reassemble? How do you put it in a set in a space where she can grab, go, put it back, and you already know what to do? This is muscle memory now. We're teaching you how to have a different pedagogy about a thing. So it's a process. But yes, it can be done and it can be beneficial for both parties. But you got to first start with disassociating breast with sex. That's two different things. It's not a sexual organ. Breasts have a purpose. I need you to know the purpose.
I was just about to say the same thing. Like those are not like sex is gone. Like
Yeah.
it's gone. Like these are made for feeding now.
Yes.
Like what you did before is not what you're gonna do afterwards. Like it's yeah, separate now. So man, Josh, like that was perfect. Perfect. And like I also teach dads, like, hey, this is a haka. Like this is a breast pump. This is a
Mm-hmm.
manual breast pump. This is how you clean it. This is how you put it together. And like you said, putting it in a reachable area for moms to just literally grab and go. Like put it, matter of fact, create a snack cart and call it the grab and go. You put the breast pump on there. You put the breast bag, the milk bags on there.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? When she's done, you grab it, you go. And now mom has snacks. Mom has this. Mom is taken care of. And now you are now bonding with your baby after she has breastfed her. Guess what? That's y'all bond next time. You're changing
Mm-hmm.
the diapers. You are swallowing baby back up. And I tell all my dads after my classes, like y'all are gonna be swaddle kings because y'all rap so hard,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so to have dads do all of those puts them at another level. And it's like, yeah, girl, my man doing this right here, my man doing that. And when that word of mouth starts to talk, well, oh, what did he do? He went to Josh's class. He went to Juan's class. Oh, well, I'm sending my man there right now. And
Mm-hmm.
so like that's how we get some of our clients, word of mouth and how men have literally stepped up and became a better version of themselves.
Real quick, Emmett, because I know we don't have a lot of time. Somebody asked about compensation. I'll let Juan go because my compensation structure is totally different than 92% of doulas you ever meet. So I'll let Juan go first because I think he still navigates traditional payment models. I do not. So Juan, they want to know about how we get paid.
Yeah, I actually was going to introduce the question with, yeah, let's show me the money. So, so how do we do it, Mr. Juan?
Well, first off, are we treated like unicorns?
I was saving that for last.
Man,
We can save that one for last. I just
okay,
had
okay,
to
okay,
tell
okay, okay,
you.
okay. Man, so about the money, um, it depends because I want my families to get the experience that they deserve. Um, there are times when I can do a pro bono. There are times when I'm like, you know what, give me what you can. But then also there are times where I'm literally charging a flat rate fee. You have to pay up front because I am that diamond in the rough. I am that unicorn, and there's only one wand, you know. And so that's how my structure is.
I told you before, I am very much, and Juan's gonna laugh when I'm saying that. I do not charge like everybody else does. I don't deal with insurances. I
Yeah.
don't deal with none of that. I'm gonna say this in a very broad way, and then I'll funnel it in to make sense. Um, White people pay me, and so that's the broad statement. I have partnered with city organizations who make sure I'm compensated for this work. So the health department in my city, different larger organizations in other cities pay me to do the work because I will never charge a black man for this work. I can't. It's something in me that I'm not going to charge you from what systematically has been taken from you. That's just not even that's not something I can do. So I get paid through those entities. I called my wife down because she's about to go to bed because I wanted to say something to what Juan said. My wife can be my witness. She will yell if I'm lying. For a very long time, my wife felt like her only job was feeding Harlem. I did everything else. You don't hear no noise. She's right here. If I'm wrong, she'll yell at me. She ain't saying nothing. It got to the point where me and my wife have a different dynamic. I told you we're a blended family, where she was the only constant parent in her other children's life, and so she had to learn how to share Harlem or baby love with me. She didn't know how, and so she used to get mad. Like, why does she only want you? Pause. That's my baby. That's how this is supposed to go. I think after maybe the first 6 months of that, you just stop trying.
Yeah, she yours, Doc. I was just a host.
Just the
Harlem's
whole.
mine. Harlem's mine. And so like this is what happens when you teach non-birthing parents how to do this properly. I have three girls and one boy. You can't tell all four of my kids they didn't come from me physically. All four of them believe they're mine because that's my job, right? And so I had to go back to that because Juan was spot on. If you do this right, the work on mom is so easy because it's supposed to be. She did the hard work. Being pregnant is the equivalent of working 40 hours a week. I need you to know that. If you don't take nothing else from this conversation, being pregnant and waking up and going back to sleep is the equivalent of 40 hours a week working on your body. So just being pregnant is work. Why would I add more to that by having expectations of you doing more? My wife didn't cook during the pregnancy. Guess how much she cooks now? Rarely. Because I set that tone. That's my job. You've done the hard work. Let me do the stuff that makes this work easy for you, right? And that's the lesson that we're teaching to these men. Being a parent is not a docile or a passenger job. Like you have to be driving that car. And if you're not, then somebody else has to pick up the responsibility of what you're not doing. But I had to say that because Juan says, I was like, yes, that's it. So I called my wife down so she can attest if I was lying. I want to get to this unicorn question because that's my
Yeah, I was
question
gonna
right
say
there.
if we're gonna go to closing thoughts, and then I guess y'all could lace in the unicorn question with that.
Love it.
Hmm.
Juan, you want to go with your final remarks and then are you treated like a unicorn?
Oh man. I would say that like this isn't about just one person going through it. It's about the whole family going through it. And when dads are a part of the equation, the whole family thrives. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But with the unicorn question, yes, Yes, like I do feel magical and special at times. Uh, but I am so humbled by everyone who has given me an opportunity to share the floor, whether it be virtual, whether it be in person, um, and just bringing lived experience and also bringing um, my true authentic self when I'm doing this work. And I will continue to be that unicorn so that way I can continue to spread rainbows and butterflies everywhere.
So, my leaving quote, which is my leaving quote until the day I stop doing this job, is maternal health is not a women's issue. Maternal health is an attack on families. It's a family issue. You have to attack maternal health outcomes and issues with family-focused care and family-focused causes and fixes. If it's not family-focused, you're not going to change a thing. And so that's just that. That's just the understanding of that. As far as being treated as a unicorn, I think because me and Juan acknowledge the fact that we know we're rare, we don't allow ourselves to be unicorns. We preach the opposite. Meaning, me and Juan were in Virginia, is that like 6 months ago, Juan?
Yeah.
We were
Yep.
in Virginia at a midwife conference or doula conference. I can't remember.
Dual
We were at a
conference. Yeah.
conference and we had to speak. We spoke. We tore it down like we always do. And then they wanted pictures with us. And me and Juan instantly went into we are taking all photos together because we are accountable to each other that nothing happens. My wife wasn't there and his wife was right there watching. I said, look, hold my hand, I hold your hand, let's take these pictures. We out of here. And so we don't allow ourselves to be unicorns.
Yeah.
We are ambassadors for change.
Yeah.
And that's really how we see it. Um, if a world happens where me and Juan get to choose 100 black male dudes for the country to actually do this work for real, I guarantee we sign up for it and I'm retiring.
Oh
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, we've done this so long and we'll continue to do it until it picks up. And then we are going to go into a trainer position and I'm done. Like we've done our work, we've done the thing. Well, let's pass the baton, let's move on to something else. And so yes, we know we acknowledge the fact that we're rare. I just don't think we'll ever allow it to be something that we take gratitude, or not gratitude, but take joy in. I don't. I'm not proud to be the only one.
Right.
That's a problem for me. There should be many of me doing this work.
I agree.
And no, we don't pass glitter gas. That gas is nasty. So we ain't doing that. No.
Well, with that, I think we're gonna call it a wrap. I would like to thank you too for joining us tonight, passing on all the knowledge that you did. I'm sure the audience, let's give them a hand, guys. Little hand clap reacts. And again, for the safer birthing community, we appreciate your time. Thanks for giving me together. Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity to speak with y'all and making me a stronger advocate myself and giving me the knowledge that I do. I salute you. I salute all the people who have joined us. Marie, I appreciate you. Dr. Farrington, big shout out. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.